All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Week 2 picks. Looking back at Week 1, we went 9-7. Went a little risky, trying to see if the Ravens could do it on the road. Didn't happen. I got the same thing with my first 3 games there. Thought that would be the case. But overall, 9-7 going through the first week. Not the worst, especially trying to figure out teams. But it is time for Week 2, and I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are too. So let's get into it here. So, starting off here, we've got the Bills taking on the Dolphins. That game is tonight. I'm going to be streaming this game. I'll be live on my channel. Would love to have you there, so just make sure that you are followed on YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok. So we've got the Bills going on the road to take on the Dolphins, and I got to go with the Dolphins at home. This is going to be a tightly contested matchup. It is the division. Bills kind of looked disappointing last week, and then they were able to get the win. Nevertheless, I think the Dolphins were in a good matchup against the Jaguars, and they still pulled it off. So I think that they do it again, especially since this one is home early in the season. I like the Dolphins to get the win there. Moving to Sunday, we've got 2 teams that performed very well on this previous week in Week 1. The Saints looked really good against my Panthers, which was very frustrating. I don't know if the Saints are going to... I think the Saints are a good team, and they're legit, regardless of it being my Panthers, who've been absolutely terrible. But I really like the Cowboys at home here, especially since that offense looks great. Dak just got paid. They looked really good on defense, offense, and everything all around. So it'll be a tighter, contested game than people will think. But I do have the Cowboys at home. I think the line that I saw was like -6 for the Cowboys. I think that the Saints can cover that, but I do think the Cowboys win this one being at home. We have a big matchup here. I think, we had this one in the playoffs last year. The Buccaneers taking on the Lions. Now, this could be a matchup that could go either way. I can honestly see the Buccaneers going on the road to take on the Lions and win. But I'm going to go with the Lions just being at home. And I think that they got scared last week. Maybe they'll wake up from that and continue that. But I do have the Lions beating the Buccaneers. Even though the Buccaneers, don't sleep on them. Baker Mayfield's cooking. And he's not cooking apple turnovers. So as long as he's not doing that, then he'll be fine. Colts taking on the Packers. I would be going with the Packers if Jordan Love was playing, but Anthony Richardson looked so good last week, and I really think that this guy is it. He's legit. I'm excited to see how he does this year. As long as he stays healthy, I think that they can go pretty far. Next, we got the New York Jets going on to take the Titans. Titans fans, anybody who's a Titans fan knows they came up just a little bit short. They should have won that game, but that was just a complete historical downfall in the second half. They weren't able to continue what they needed to do. Jets fans, looking for something. I really think that the Jets didn't play terrible. They got some stuff they have to figure out. They only had really one drive. Maybe they'll get back to their game. The Titans defense is still going to be tough, and that offense has capability. It depends on which Titans we get. If we get the Titans in that first half, they played much better against the Bears. But I just feel like the Jets are going to get that one. They need that win, and I don't have a lot of hope for the Titans this year in general, but I think the Jets get this one. So Jets winning that one. Then we have San Francisco taking on Minnesota. San Francisco absolutely dominated last week. I expect them to continue to get that domination going this week as well. The Vikings, though, didn't look bad. I'm not going to lie. Sam Darnold, the quarterback of the future, played amazing last week. We'll have to see how he does going forward. He's got some good targets there. I think Addison, though, not looking too hot overall, but I do think that the 49ers should win that. And I think Addison got injured. That's what I meant, not hot. He was fine when he was playing, but I think he's a little shaken up, so hopefully he's okay. Seattle Seahawks going on the road to take on the Patriots. Now, this is going to be the first one that might surprise some people. I think I'm going to go with the Patriots at home. I was really impressed with how the Patriots handled the Bengals. They look good on offense. They look good on defense. They have a dude in Jacoby Brissett who is not bad. I mean, this dude is a vet. He's been around for a long time. He's a good, solid quarterback. I've followed the dude since college because I'm an NC State Wolfpack fan. Shout out to the Pack, ladies and gentlemen, who are struggling as well. But anyway, yeah, it's been rough for me in football. I'm a Panthers fan. I like Appalachian State. I like North Carolina State University. And all my teams lost by 40-plus points pretty much. 37-plus because of the Panthers. But yeah, rough weekend for me in the week 1, but hopefully it gets better for me. But Jacoby Brissett, I think he's a great quarterback, and I think that they can get it done. Seahawks kind of scared me there. They almost let the Broncos back in. So we'll see if they can continue that this week. But I do think the Patriots get the upset at home. Next, we have the Giants and the Commanders. Giants look terrible. The defense is their one talking point. That defensive front could be some of the best defensive front in all the league. So it's going to be tough to say whether or not they regress, but I do think that the Giants are going to lose this one. I like the Commanders at home. I liked what Jaden Daniels did. He's a great quarterback, I think so. He got 2 rushing touchdowns. I don't think he got a passing touchdown. We'll see if he can get another passing, if he can get his first passing touchdown. But they looked really great this week. Not to mention, that offense has like Austin Eckler. The defense is pretty solid as well. Having Dan Quinn as their coach, I really like the Commanders as a little bit of a sleeper team to get some upsets. I don't know about making the playoffs, but the Commanders could be an interesting team to watch over time. And let's just be honest, they played the Buccaneers, which is a pretty solid team, and probably will be contending for the NFC South this year. Speaking of the NFC South, we have my team, somebody that I absolutely love, but of course am not going to be excited to see. So we got the Panthers taking on the Chargers. I really think that the Chargers looked good last week. They have an offense and that's going to be dedicated to the run, and I think that they're able to keep that going here against Carolina. They got J.K. Dobbins, which is an absolute steal in my opinion. I love J.K. Dobbins. I don't know why the Ravens didn't give him as much of a chance or try to incorporate him. I know that they could definitely use him. Imagine a 1-2 punch with him as well as Derrick Henry, not to mention like a Keaton Mitchell. If they had that kind of running back room, could be unreal. They could be running something similar to how the 49ers have it, which would be absolutely great. And even with the 49ers, you can see they don't have Elijah Mitchell or Christian McCaffrey last week. Jordan Mason, I've almost forgot the name, but he was able to step up and get stuff done there. I like the Chargers. They're going on the road in Carolina. Carolina worries me. I'll speak about them a little bit here as a Panthers fan. I'm worried about the future with Bryce Young. The confidence is not there. He looks good. He's looked good in some joint practices, and he looked okay and against the Bills. Granted, it was their like second/third string defense when it was in the preseason, but he just doesn't seem to have that confidence. Throwing that pick in the first play of the game for him, it really frustrated him. I think it really got to him, and I've watched like the highlights of how he plays, and it really worries me about the future with him. Can he get his confidence back? Can he do what we know what he does, being that kind of point guard? You know, like people were saying when he came into the NFL when he was drafted, the biggest comp for him was Steph Curry. He needs to get into that where he's the distributor of the ball. He doesn't need to be a game changer, but he needs to be able to extend the play, put the ball where it needs to be, and trust himself without doing these overthrows. That is something that we're going to have to see. There is a lot of worry there. Plus, the Panthers' defense worries me, so that's one reason why I do pick the Chargers as well. But got to keep pounding and hope for the best. But moving on to the next Sunday early game here, we have the Browns going on the road to take on the Jags. Browns kind of disappointed me last week. I'm not going to lie. A lot of it was their quarterback play. Deshaun Watson, a guy that I don't think needs to be in the league, number one. I think he's not a great person. And I think he's even not playing well. He's not played well since he's with the Texans. So I really think that they had a better situation when they had Joe Flacco. Old man Joe Flacco was being a better quarterback for them. Taking on the Jags. Jags looked good last week. It was kind of a back and forth with the Dolphins. And I got to go with the Jags once again. I'll go with the Jags to get this win at home. I think that they can get this one done, especially being an early game as well. They're not going to enjoy the heat, that's for sure. Then, another Sunday early game. This is the last of the early games here. The Raiders taking on the Ravens. This game in Baltimore, Raiders didn't look great. Ravens look easy. This is my lock. 100% this is my lock for the week. I don't think that the Raiders are going to be able to win this one. I know that they have some great spots. They've got like Devontae Adams and stuff like that. They got Max Crosby on defense. They're going to make a couple plays, but I just don't think that they're able to beat Baltimore, especially coming off of a loss there. Baltimore's going to be more determined than anything. I don't trust the Raiders. I don't think there's a lot of stuff to be excited for with the Raiders, but honestly, I think this is my lock for the week. I think that the Ravens win this one pretty easily. Then we have the Rams taking on the Cardinals, and this one is in Arizona. This is a game in the afternoon slot, so people are going to ask, can the Rams win this one after their loss to Detroit? I think it's a great team. 2 road games in a row, though. I'm actually going to go with the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals looked pretty decent last week against the Bills. I'm big on the Cardinals this year. I don't know what it is. I just feel like it's a team that's not talked about enough. They have to incorporate Marvin Harrison Jr. more. I think it was he had like 3-4 targets last week. He only had one catch though for 4 yards. They've got to do better than that. But having James Conner, they have a lot of weapons that I really think that's going to be great for the Cardinals moving forward. Rams look good. Matthew Stafford, all that going into overtime on the road against Detroit. That's not a bad loss, especially week 1 on the road. That was a great they showed poise. They were able to come back in that game. Just couldn't get the stop on defense, and that's just how it is sometimes. And it's pretty tough. But the Rams are going to be around. They're going to be in that playoff talk all year long. But I think that the Cardinals could sneak into that as well. And Cardinals at home, I feel like they're kind of being underestimated. But I'm going to go with the Cardinals at home here. We'll see if that one goes to bite me next week. So, getting into the last 4 games. We got the Steelers going on the road to take on the Broncos. Steelers coming off a great defensive performance against the Falcons. The Broncos had a pretty good performance. Bo Nix has a lot of growing to do. I think that he does have a potential in the league for being something one day. It's going to take some time. I just don't think that it's this one. Steelers, though, looked good on defense. I think that defense carries them. I'm excited to see how this team continues. TJ Watt easily going to be in that conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. If he's not first, he's second. So that guy is just everything that you'd want more. And that team looks good. Offense situation, they got to figure that out. Justin Fields, is he going to take that position? George Pickens had a great catch last week. I'm excited to see how the Steelers do, especially offensively. That's the main question. That's been the question for a few years. That defense is solid, and that defense is carrying that team. And Boswell, I mean, let's not lie. That man carried the team on that leg last week, so they're going to continue that, in my opinion. Then, Cincinnati Bengals on the road to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Bengals really disappointing last week. A lot of people not too happy about that. I know a lot of people, we have a Survivor Fantasy League. They picked the Bengals. They were like, yes, the Bengals going to win this one against the Patriots. I switched mine to the Seahawks last week because I thought the Seahawks would win, and they did. And people were upset that the Bengals lost. And last week's opponent was one that I feel like was easier. And this week they have Titletown pretty much. And it's going to be tough for them to get this win. Kansas City looks great. I think that they're a great team. They impressed me, and that's something that's kind of wild that they impressed me so well. You know, Marquise Brown, not having Hollywood Brown on the team, I was worried about how they would do, but they did great. Xavier Worthy, I knew that he would be incorporated, but I didn't realize he was going to be incorporated that much, and it looks like Kansas City's just hit a home run once again. Kansas City, dangerous, on the way to do another championship, a three-peat possibility. We'll see, but I like Kansas City at home against the Bengals. The Bengals are not a bad team. The questions with Jamar Chase wanting the money, because apparently he turned down a 4-year, $140 million contract. There's the problems with T. Higgins, and not to mention all the injuries and everything like that. There's so many questions with the Bengals, and I feel like that's what's holding them back. If all those things are solved, this would be a much highly contested game. I could even see and pick the Bengals if they would have even had a better performance and everything would have worked and they were getting their guys back this week. However, I have to go with the Chiefs. The Chiefs just look too good. They're well put together. They have the connection, the team chemistry. It's just everything is rocking for them, and I just think the Chiefs get the win here. Sunday Night Football. We're going to be live for this one. I'm so excited for this. Caleb Williams and the Bears going on to take on the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud. I think this is going to be a great matchup. By the way, I switched to the Bears logo, so I think you Bears fans will be excited about that, because last week I did the toilet seat C, but we've changed it. I put the bear in here. I tried to make it as best I could. Plus, I think this is the best logo they have. But I'm going to go with the Texans. You're not going to be too excited with me. I think C.J. Stroud and the Texans are just so good. The Bears worried me. The defense was great. The offense trying to get things sorted out, which it'll take time. It'll happen over time. I really think it will. He has the best weapons that any rookie has had in the history of the NFL. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Rome shows up on the injury report and stuff like that this week, but it's okay. Even though they do have great weapons moving forward, I'm excited to see how that goes. But they love what they're doing, and I really think that they're building something great in Chicago. And it's only up from here too. But the defense is great. They got one of the best corners in the league, even though it didn't make the top 100 list. So I really think that it's going to be great for them moving forward. But I do think the Texans are just too loaded, and they looked so good last week. I think that this one could be a bit of a blowout, but just because the offense for Houston, and the defense for Houston's good too. And them getting home, we'll have to see. But I do have Texans win this on Sunday Night Football. But come hang out with us. We'll be live watching that one. Or maybe if you like Battle of the Birds and that's your kind of thing. We have the Falcons going on to take the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. I am ready for that one too. I will be live for this game here between the Falcons and the Eagles. And this one will be, of course, on the Monday night. It'll be a lot of fun. I think the Eagles win this one. I think they're just too good. The Falcons, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a process there. They've got some stuff that they have to figure out. They struggled against a team that is a good defense. I don't think that that is to be questioned. I think that they're facing a team that is also really good in defense as well. I think the defensive backs for the Eagles is going to be a problem for the Falcons and Kirk Cousins. We'll see if they can keep that going. Bijan Robinson, I think he might eat in this one, but I just think that the Falcons aren't up to it yet, and I do think the Eagles get the win here. So just to let y'all know, too, with commentary, we will be live tonight for the Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. I'll be live on Sunday night for the Bears taking on the Houston Texans, and I'll be live for the Falcons taking on the Eagles. I would love to have each and every one of you there, so it would be great to have you guys back here with us. So just to clarify my picks for this one, I've got the Dolphins at home beating the Bills. I got the Cowboys at home beating the Saints. Lions at home beating the Buccaneers. I got the Colts on the road beating the Packers. I got the Jets going on the road to beat the Titans. 49ers on the road to beat the Vikings. I got the Patriots at home beating the Seahawks. I got the Commanders at home beating the Giants. I got the Chargers on the road beating the Panthers. I got the Jaguars at home beating the Browns. I got the Ravens at home beating the Raiders. I got the Cardinals at home beating the Rams. I got the Steelers on the road beating the Broncos. I got the Chiefs at home beating the Bengals. I got the Texans at home beating the Bears. And then I have the Falcons losing to the Eagles in Philadelphia. So these are my Week 2 picks. I'm excited to see how this one is. We're going to have commentary. Go to the comment section. Let me know which picks that you agree with, which ones you disagree with. I would love to see what you guys do. Make sure you tap in on the like. Make sure you give me that thumbs up, subscribe, follow. Would love to have you guys back with me for other content. We're uploading all kinds of different things. And make sure that you don't miss the live streams on TikTok, on Twitch, and YouTube. Every stream is appreciated. We're going to be having a lot of fun with that. So make sure that you follow. I will see you guys in the next video, and you guys have a great rest of your day.